Grow your cleaning business. Make more money. Have more time. This is the Profit Cleaners Podcast with your hosts, Brandon Condry and Brandon Shane.
Hey everybody, what is up? Brandon Shane in the house, guys. I'm doing a solo cast today, and I want to welcome you to the Profit Cleaners Podcast, the only place where you can learn from the top 1% of cleaning business owners from around the world to up-level your game, take it to the next level, and win. Thank you guys for being here today. Just have a quick episode for you guys today. I want to share something really impactful, a really cool metaphor that I think is going to help you grow your business and really help you in your life as well. And so we don't always do these little shorter podcasts, but I want to just share this with you guys because I think this metaphor, this concept, is actually somebody told it to me many years ago. I forget which business it was in, but it applies to so many businesses. And just this concept, this big picture thinking, it's basically how the bucket story will transform your cleaning business. That's the title of it. So it is the bucket story, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. But first, guys, I want to remind you of some house cleaning, some housekeeping, and that is if you are getting any value out of this podcast. You'll notice that we haven't run 10 minutes of ads right before the podcast or anywhere in the show, and that is because, guys, we do this out of our hearts. We do this out of the good of what we're doing in our own business. We want to pay it forward. We want to help you guys to win and share the strategies, the techniques, whatever it is working, whatever isn't working, we want to share it with you guys. So if you are getting that value, if you're getting a change of perspective, a new idea, some inspiration, let us know, guys, by sharing it out. Share it to a friend, share it to someone else that could benefit from this. If you got value from the show, share it and help us out. Leave us a review, subscribe. That does wonders to help us, and we don't charge you guys for anything else for these shows. We're doing it absolutely free, and we're doing it alongside growing our own cleaning business. So help us out, guys. Pay it forward and pay the fee and share the show. So other than that, guys, I just wanted to dive in. So I want you guys to take a moment wherever you are listening to this podcast and just try to visualize this with me for a minute. Okay, so imagine that you live in a village. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story about building pipelines and buckets and big picture thinking for systems. And really what this is all about, guys, is operating at a higher level, working smart, not hard. And so I'm going to dive into the story. Okay, so imagine you live in a village. Imagine that maybe this is 100 years ago, before there's running water and all these things like that, right? So going back in time a little bit, everyone that you see around you every day is racing to the river to get water, right? And that's what everyone does. They pick up their buckets, they walk to the river, and you can only carry so many buckets. Most people can carry one, maybe two buckets. Maybe if you're really strong, you can carry 4 or 5 buckets. But it gets a little crazy if you start doing that, right? But everyone's racing to the river to get water. And you look around and you kind of see what's going on, and you decide you're going to do something different. You're going to work smart and not hard because you've got a better way to do things. And so you see the big picture as you look around. You're seeing everyone do the same thing. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's grabbing a bucket, going down to the river, fetching some water, coming back to their house for the day. Now they got water. That's how everyone's been doing it. That's the only way anyone has known to do it up to this point, right? But you see the big picture. You see things differently because you're thinking like an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs solve problems. Entrepreneurs see things that other people don't see. They see around the corner, around the inflection point, right? To see the opportunity. So what do you do differently? Well, it's not really a competition to get the most water, but if you did want to get more water and you wanted to get that water more easily, more efficiently, and even maybe you wanted to be lazy one day and not have to even go get the water, how could you do that, right? And so here's the story, guys, is you start digging a trench, okay? You start digging a hole, and that's the first step. And you look around as you start digging your trench, digging your hole, and people are laughing at you, and they're saying, what are you doing? Trying to get water, right? but nobody understands what you're doing. So they kind of look at you in disbelief, kind of make fun of you, maybe call you some names and make you feel bad. But you know what? You just keep digging your trench because you know what you're doing. In fact, earlier that year or the year prior, you had been in a different village, a different town, not too far away, that you saw somebody doing it differently. Okay, you saw this system that I'm about to talk to you about that you're going to be building here. So you're down in the trench, you're digging the hole. People are laughing at you. Next, you start laying the pipe. You start laying the foundation of the system that's going to carry the water from the river to your house. But nobody else knows that you're doing this, right? So they're all still looking at you like you're crazy. And you start putting down the pipe. You start putting down the pieces that hold the pipe in place, and you anchor those into place. And you cement that together. You screw that together. You glue it together. However you can do it, right? And now people are looking at you and they're saying, what are you doing? In the time that you've been, building this trench, digging this thing and putting these pipes in, we've gotten 10 more buckets of water. And you're just still sitting here and you haven't even gotten 1 bucket of water, right? So they're looking at you, scratching their heads and saying, what is this guy doing, right? And so finally, after months and months of hard work, you've been doing this every day. You've been digging trenches. You've been getting new pipe. You've been putting it together, building one section after the next. And still, people are just like, I don't know what he's doing, but we're getting our water. We're good. That guy over there, he's completely clueless. He doesn't know what he's doing, right? So finally, after months and months of hard work, you finish putting down that last piece of pipe, and you walk over to the edge of the river, and you turn on the faucet. That's all you do. You just turn a little knob, and the water starts flowing. Abundantly flowing, right? It doesn't just start trickling, it starts gushing out. It starts gushing out, it starts following your pipeline that you've just built, basically. All the way down, all the way through all the nooks and crannies and the valleys that you dug. And you can see the big picture now starting to come together, right? It's this framework that you were building, this system, this pipeline that you were building. And everything changes. Everything changes. And you look around, and everyone's looking at you in awe and in disbelief because they know that you just outsmarted them. And they can see what you've been doing this whole time. And they begin to scratch their heads and say, wow, look at what you just did. Like you totally are working smart and not hard because you just built this amazing pipeline system, and all you had to do was turn on the faucet and the water started flowing. Okay? And so I want you guys to think about that for a sec. And as you're thinking about that, maybe there's a neighbor in the village that walks by and he was bragging the whole time about how he was 10 times stronger than you and he was able to carry 10 times more buckets of water than you. And now that guy is scratching his head and saying, wow, I was such a fool, because he's like, what an amazing pipeline you just built. Or maybe he's mad at you for building that pipeline and he's not amazed. He's mad at you because he's jealous of your success, right? And so now when you need water for your family, instead of you having to grab buckets, get everyone to grab buckets and do the hard work and truck down to the river and maybe break your back trying to carry extra buckets on the way back because you're trying to outdo yourself and you're burning out. Instead of burning out and breaking your back and feeling like you want to quit, now everything's changed, right? And even the days that you don't feel like working, you just go out and you turn on the faucet and you let that water flow. And so, meanwhile, everyone else is still going down to the river, getting their bucket, bringing it back home, and repeating that same mundane process. That's hard work. And it might feel like they're getting ahead, but this whole time that they felt like they were doing more than you and they were looking at you like you're crazy, you were actually building a system. You were actually putting in the hard work and had the big picture thinking the visionary thinking to see out past what everyone else was doing and to see a better way to do this. And maybe that better way, maybe the only way that you knew that you were confident in doing this is because you saw another guy's pipeline, another system, another water system in another village, right? And so you're like, I know this works. I saw a better model of this working. So even though nobody believes me and everyone laughed at me, I saw a better system and I was and I implemented it, and here I am. So I want you guys to think about today's culture, and it's kind of full of this busyness mentality, right? It's cool to be busy, and everyone's always so busy all the time. I don't have time for that. I'm so busy, right? But being busy just to look busy and play business is not the way to go about it, guys. Being busy is not a symbol of success. Just carrying the buckets back and forth might look successful to some people, but that's actually not really being efficient. That's not truly successful because you can't scale that, right? There's only one bucket at a time you can carry up that hill and back. You can't carry 10 or 20 at a time unless you start creating other systems, right? So a lot of times in our culture today, in today's age, it's, people think it's cool to be busy, guys. But again, being busy is not a symbol of success. It's a sign of being disorganized, ineffective, and mentally weak. So I love the wording of this, guys, and I heard this recently. The world doesn't reward busy. The world rewards effective. I'm going to say that again. The world doesn't reward busy. The world rewards effective. Average people pretend to be busy. Successful people care about results. Average people pretend to be busy. Successful people care about results. Think about that for a second, guys. The world around us pretends to be busy, pretends not to have time, pretends not to have the ability to think outside the box and to go the extra mile because they're too busy to be effective, right? But the world doesn't reward that, okay? The world truly rewards results and true effectiveness. And so when you built that pipeline, and you walked over and you turned on that faucet, that was effectiveness. That was results. And that is what gets rewarded. A lot of people in business are too arrogant to invest in themselves, to invest in their businesses, into systems, or to build the right systems, right? To pay people to help them build those systems. And it's mainly because they haven't seen anything like this before. But you have seen this. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Maybe you saw this, like I said, the pipeline. Maybe you saw that pipeline in another village. And you said, hey, I see that that's working. And you know it worked because you saw it work. And you said, I saw it working. So you have the confidence to go out and build that system yourself because you saw it working. So what all this comes back to, guys, is in business, you want to be developing this mentality, right? Work smart, not hard. And also, you want to be working in a way that you see the big picture and you're actually building a system that gives you your life back, that gives you your time back, that gives you freedom. That's why you started a business in the first place, right? So can you see how building a pipeline, even though it's more work in the beginning, even though people think you're crazy for digging a trench and doing everything the opposite of everyone else, can you see how building a pipeline is more effective, is getting more results in the big picture game? Can you see that, right? So this is the framework, guys, that we're teaching here at Profit Cleaners, okay? We talk a lot about on these podcasts, all sorts of strategies and mindset and different episodes, guys, to help you grow your business. But essentially what we're teaching you guys is the framework, okay? And we talk about the riches are in the niches. Absolutely. If you're in the cleaning business or in a service-based business, you're in a niche. So the riches are in the niches. That's the first thing. Once you find that niche, number two, you want to build the pipeline. You want to build the systems. You want to build the customer experience, right? You're an entrepreneur. That means you are creating experiences for people. How are you making people feel, right? How's your pipeline delivering your product and making people feel? Is it making them feel great? Is it an easy, awesome experience? You just turn it on and it happens seamlessly and abundantly. So number 3 is you turn on that faucet and you let abundance flow. Because you built that system, you built that pipeline. It's now in place. And all you got to do is turn it on, let the water flow. And the beauty is, guys, at some point, we're all a little bit lazy, right? And there's those days where you do want to get up and you don't want to go down to the river and get that bucket, right? How nice would it be? Imagine for a sec if you could just turn on that faucet because you built the pipeline, you built the system. And those days that you're feeling like, man, I just don't want to do it today. Well, just turn on the faucet, turn on the system, right? Maybe someone else turns it on for you because all you got to do is turn that faucet. That's what we're talking about, guys, is building that system, building that pipeline so that you don't have to keep bringing those buckets down the hill and breaking your back and burning out, and breaking your ankle, and getting your kids to carry more buckets and all that crazy stuff, right? It's time to live your life. It's time to build something of value, of lasting value that's going to last for a long time, and it's going to be impacting lots of people, and it's going to be this source of abundance that flows. And so I want to just end this podcast today, guys, with this story to let you guys know, like, start thinking differently. Start thinking outside the box and start thinking big picture. What is the system you can be building, and what are the systems you should be building into your business so that you can turn on that pipeline and let the water flow? Don't be like everyone else that is just being busy and running a cash flow front and doing everything themselves and breaking their backs to try to carry 10 buckets home every single day. Don't be that guy, okay? It might look like that guy is really busy and he's sweating and he's bragging about how much he's doing, but you know what? The difference is that guy's going to burn out. And at the end of the day, his back's going to hurt. And he can only do that for so long before he completely just gives up. A system will truly set you free. And systems create freedom, guys. Systems create structure. So you can operate within an environment that gives you more structure, more freedom, more creativity to grow your business the way you want to grow your business. And that's how it's done, guys. That's how the most successful entrepreneurs out there are doing it. They're creating pipelines, they're creating systems, and they're building teams around them that complement their skills so they can focus on what they do best. And their teams go out and turn on the faucet for them, and the water flows, and everyone gets their water for the day. Everything gets done, and it's efficient, and it's effective, and it's beautiful. And so I want to encourage you guys to not be like everyone else and not be trying to be busy and trying to do everything yourself. Start thinking big picture. Be the other guy, the guy that saw the big picture, the guy that took action when everyone else was laughing at them and wondering why they were digging holes, building a pipeline, wasting time, essentially, is what they thought. But in reality, you're actually pushing past that and you're doing something much greater. And so what this all gets back to, guys, is the systems that we're teaching you guys here at Profit Cleaners, the systems to market your business, to grow your business, to get more sales, because those are systems you can put in place and you can turn on the pipeline and watch the customers roll in. And then there's systems to nurture those customers and create an amazing experience to over deliver so that those people are loyal to your business for years and years and years to come. They're not just easy come, easy go. Right? And then there's other systems, guys. We just launched the home cleaning training systems course. That's another system, guys, that actually we got from our mentor. We got that pipeline from another village. We saw it working in another village and we brought it to our village and we doubled down on it. And we said, this is working. We're going to double down on it. We're going to build that same pipeline here because we saw it working somewhere else. And so all we're saying, guys, is take the plans, take the blueprint for our pipeline and go build your pipeline. Take the systems that we've laid out for you guys, the framework, that all you have to do is follow the framework, follow this step, dig the trench, lay the pipe, turn on the faucet, and let the water flow. And so I want to leave you guys with that. I want to leave you guys with the mentality and just the upgrading of your thoughts and how you perceive the world and how you perceive your business. Start investing in yourself, start investing in your business, and start taking strategic action to take the right steps. And we've said this recently on some of our calls, but it's, if you're not getting success, if you're not having success in your business so far, or you're not reaching the goals that you want to reach, and you're constantly trying to achieve those goals, but you're not quite hitting them, well, you're either not taking the right action, or you don't have the right system, so you're taking the wrong action constantly, or you just haven't been taking the right action with the right system for long enough. So maybe you just need a little more time. Maybe you need to tweak those systems. Maybe there's a leak in your pipeline, right? So maybe there's some things you can change to add more structure, to add a more efficient pipeline, to add even just the whole system. Maybe you don't have a pipeline at all. Maybe you're still carrying the buckets down to the river to get the water and bring them back, and you feel like you're really busy. You feel like you're working really hard, but you're just not getting anywhere. You're like, how am I ever going to get enough water to build a swimming pool or whatever you're trying to do with all the water, right? Or just make it easier on yourself to get water. I mean, so I want you guys to start thinking bigger, and I want you guys to start thinking, how can I build a system and build a pipeline? And if you want to model success, guys, that's the best way to do it. Model success. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just follow in someone else's footsteps that's already done it. And so that's what we did. We've created these systems. If you guys want to follow the blueprint and the systems we've outlined in the home cleaning training systems and the 10X course for marketing your cleaning business, guys, that's a great way to start. Or just keep listening to the podcast. We're always giving out value to you guys, sharing what's working, what's not working. So hopefully you're starting to see the big picture here. What this all comes back to is systems and getting in the niche, creating the system, and turning on the faucet, letting it flow. And I promise you guys, if you start putting in the work now, if you start building the right systems now, and you consistently keep showing up, doing the work, the results will come. And it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow. It might take you a year or two to dig the pipeline and to lay the pipe in the foundation. But once that foundation is built, once that pipe is in place, it is a beautiful thing, guys. That is the beautiful thing about business, is the systems that free you. And that's what we all got into business for, is freedom. I think ultimately you want the freedom to do what you want, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, with whomever you want. That is true freedom, guys. And so let's create businesses that create freedom in our lives, that create pipelines that deliver fresh, abundant water to our families, to our communities. And let's create the system. So all we got to do is step outside, turn on that faucet, let the abundance flow. So I want to just leave you guys with that thought. How can you create a system, and an abundant system that feeds your business, that feeds your life? And how can you plug into something that's already working? And if you guys are already doing it, awesome. If you need help with that, we'd love to help you out. Check out the Profit Cleaners courses. We've got the 10X, the Profit Cleaners home cleaning training systems. We've got another one coming out probably next year if you're just launching one. But guys, we're here to help. If you have questions about how to grow your business, reach out to us, hello@profitcleaners.com. Jump on our social media pages. We're on Instagram now at Profit Cleaners. You can also find my personal Instagram at Profit Brandon. We're actually getting on TikTok now. We're getting everywhere, guys. We're going to be omnipresent because we want to share this message with the world as far and wide as we can. We want as many of you building your pipelines, building your systems, so that you can bring more abundance and more water back to the community. And you can be that guy that didn't do it like everyone else. And everyone kind of scratched their heads. But at the end of the day, you're going to be the guy that changes the world. You're going to be the one that changes your village and did the right thing and worked smart and not hard. And that's the way it's done, guys. So I want to leave you with that thought and leave you thinking abundantly and inspire you to think abundantly and how you can build that pipeline. Whatever that pipeline is for you and your business, whatever tweaks you need to make, now's the time, guys. Now's the time to put the pedal to the metal, full throttle. There's never been a better time in history, guys. Now is the time to double down when everyone else is slowing down, going on the defense, go on the offense. Build your pipeline. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the community. I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side. And I wish you guys all the best in building your pipeline. We're here to build it alongside you. We're here to give you the blueprints. So keep showing up. If you're getting value out of the show, share it out, guys. Share it out to a friend, someone that needs to hear this. That doesn't even have to be a cleaning business owner. Share it out. Leave us a review. Help us out, guys. Subscribe to the show. And we'll see you guys real soon. Until then, keep it clean.
Thanks for joining us today. To get more info, including show notes, updates, trainings, and super cool free stuff, head over to profitcleaners.com. And remember, keep it clean.